Hi folks, this is Doug Reid again. Welcome to the Power Pro Headstock presentation. This is going to run about 12 minutes. It should show you quite a bit. One quick thing, please be safe in your woodworking. You know, if you get hurt, everybody gets hurt. Use your head, read the manuals, understand what you're doing. Woodworking should be fun. Be safe. Hi folks, this is Doug Reid again, and this is just going to be a short video presentation on how to use the new Shopsmith Power Pro Headstock. And in the short time I've had this, I have to tell you that I've really come to appreciate it. It works great. It improves everything about my Shopsmith woodworking tools, and as it turns out, this is very quick and intuitive to learn. So let me just walk you through the things that I have discovered here. First of all, we have our normal on and off switch that you're used to, which is right up here. We're going to leave that in the on position. Let me show you what happens and why we do that. If I turn it off, my computer down below is going to give me a little warning message. It's going to say low voltage in this case, and then it goes off. So really it's just shutting itself down. So I'm going to turn it back on, and what you'll see, it takes about, I don't know, 8 or 10 seconds to power back up. But it's a good thing to see what happens one time. It's not a big deal if you turn this your main power switch on or off by mistake. So I'm going to turn it on and just have you take a quick look at it. And what it does, it says Shopsmith, refer to manuals for safe operation, always use your guards and eye protection. So it's just a nice little warning. And now it says 500 forward, ready to run. And that's really all there is to it if you happen to turn it off. But just for practical reasons, I find it's a little bit easier to leave the speed on all the time. Now, the components here, what you have is your on switch in green, your off switch in red. You have some preset buttons across here. These read 900, 1150, 2000, 3450, and 9500. Folks, if you are used to using the old Mark V headstock, you remember the speeds were just sort of designated there. You can really do about the same thing here. It's very quick and easy. If you look at the chart here will tell you those same speeds, and it tells you the operation. So let's say you want to use your table saw. You look here and it says table saw joiner 3450. And all I have to do is turn it on at that speed. Well, I say that's all I have to do, but you're going to see something really cool here. If I turn it on now at 3450, and let's just say I hit the on button, it's only going at 500 RPM. That's my normal speed. Now I could push the up and down buttons here until I get up to that speed, but obviously a better way to do it is to hit the 3450 button. And now what it says, ready to run. I turn it on. Why does it not start? Well, because any speed over 1500, the Mark V computer, the Power Pro Headstock, is really just sort of is our friend and says, are you sure that's the right speed you want? And it's a good idea, because let's say you've hooked your bandsaw up to it, or you've got a big bowl on there and you're ready to start it up at the wrong speed. So it's just one little step. It takes a second to do it, but once it says 3450 confirm, we just go ahead and push the button. Isn't it a great sound? Some things never change. That wonderful sound of the Shopsmith cranking up the speed. And really, it's just that easy. When we're done sawing, we turn the speed off. Oh, before I turn this off, let me point something out here. You notice that the RPM is changing slightly here? That is the computer on the inside of the headstock that is sensing the different power loads that are going on. It reads the voltage coming into it, and it also senses the amount of torque needed to perform whatever operation. It's going to keep the speed the same, but it's going to change the torque. So this is just an amazing advancement, in my opinion, from what we had before. So just to back up a little bit, we leave our main switch on. We have our on and off switch here. We have our presets here. Now here's where it gets very, very interesting. Let's say that you're doing something and you don't know the exact right speed. For example, you're turning a bowl. I love bowl turning. I like to turn small bowls, large bowls, whatever I can get my hands on, wet wood, dry wood, I don't care. If I can make it round and pretty, I kind of like it. But what I don't always know is the right speed. And where you get into problems with this If you especially mount a large piece of wood and you run this up to 3450, as you folks probably know, this machine will just want to bump and jump and just really be pretty scary. So you don't want to do that. And it is possible, if you were to run something up at that high end of a speed, that you could literally blow that piece of wood to pieces. And I have been in a shop where that's happened. So we don't want something like that to happen. So if you're new to all of this or you just want to confirm it, what we do, look down here on these buttons. This one says chart. We push the chart button and it says, okay, do you want to look at the chart button? So we can hit the confirm button. And now it gives us a choice of different tools. And I'm running it through bandsaw, belt sanding, disc sanding, drilling, boring, drum sanding, joiner, lathe turning. Okay, there's the one that I want. And I hit confirm again. Now it's going to ask me, what diameter are you turning? Well, let's say I'm turning something 12 inches in diameter. I'll run again my dial here until I get to that 10 to 12 inch, or I might even go up to a little bit extra safety, 12 to 14 inch diameter. And then I hit confirm. And it asks me, is it hardwood or softwood? We hit confirm again. Now, it takes me much longer to show you this than it actually does to do it. And it's very quick and easy to work with. But now I have the confidence that when I'm turning that piece on my Mark V, or my Mark 7, as we would probably want to call it now, it's going to be the right speed for the size of the wood, the weight of the wood, the density or the hardness of the wood. All those things will just make the whole process so much easier. So you can begin to see how many great advantages there are to this, the computer built in to the Power Pro Headstock. And you can also begin to see how easy it is to use. Now over here, it says forward and reverse. Well, why would you want that? Well, that will let you do reverse sanding, for example. On your disc sander, sometimes you might want to reverse sand for an ultra-fine smooth surface, but I like it especially for, again, my lathe work. After I've done sanding in one direction, I can go sanding in the other direction. And that is going to let me do exactly that. It'll let me change my direction for the speed. Now right now it says 3450 forward, ready to run. Again, that's not what we want. Remember, we left it at the table saw. So let's back this down to about 900 RPM. Now at 900, we don't really have to go through the confirm process. We just turn the on button, and we're going to be ready to go. Now I'm going to mount a piece of wood here for just a moment, let you have a look at it. And you know, sometimes they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, and I think this is the case here. Let me grab this chunk of it's an old chunk of a log. I'm not even sure what it is. This is something that I cut a year or so ago and mounted it. No, actually I didn't mount it until recently, but I cut it on the bandsaw, and it was round when I cut it, but after sitting for a year, it got way out of round. It's probably a good 3/4 of an inch out of round. Let me just pan over so you can see that piece of wood I just stuck on there. There it is. And that's a pretty hefty piece. You'll probably also be able to see that because I cut it out of the log, it's definitely not going to be very well balanced. It's going to be considerably out of balance. If I were to just turn on my old Mark V, as I have in the past, and even at the slowest speed, there would be a huge amount of vibration going on here. Let me back up just a touch here so you can see this a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is take my speed chart, hit chart, speed chart confirm, and just go through until I get to lathe turning. And I'll run it to the diameter that I'm interested in, let's say 14 to 1600 RPM. Okay. Now, when I first turn this on, you're going to see something very interesting happening. And when I first saw this, I thought maybe there was a problem, but as it turns out, it's absolutely brilliant. What's happening, there's going to be a little bit of a hesitation there, and what's going on is the computer inside is figuring out what size piece of wood, what weight, and what kind of torque is going to be required for this. So after that little bit of hesitation, while it figures it out, I always think of it as kind of scratching its head for a minute, and then it's going to just settle right down and give us the speed that we want. So let's confirm that size. We'll confirm that it's hardwood. Now it says 400 RPM. We'll just turn it on, and it's asking us forward or reverse, so we're good to go. And that's it. See that little hesitation there? That's just the computer figuring it out, and then it just completely settles down. Again, let me swing over this way a little bit for you so you can have a look at this. And isn't that pretty? Isn't that nice how that works? Just as smooth as can be. So there are many, many advantages to the new Power Pro headstock. In fact, the more I talk to the folks that have owned one of these for a while and the engineers back at Shopsmith, the more that I have realized that every single operation that we do is going to be improved, which would be your table saw. With a table saw, there's much less likelihood that we're ever going to have any burning problems. You're not going to have the saw bogging down or stalling. We're not going to see the lights dimming out. We can run two tools at once. If you've ever tried to run your dust collector and your table saw at the same time, you know what a problem that can be. So that's a big advantage. But bandsaw, much better for resawing. You have more constant available torque to you. Your joiner, belt sander, disc sander, horizontal boring machine, your vertical drill press, if you're drilling large pieces, tremendous advantage to be able to drill large holes without burning. And I'm going to be showing you folks some of these in some separate videos so you'll get a chance to actually see these in action. But every single operation that the Mark V performs, it now performs it much better. So I think with the Power Pro headstock, this company and this tool has just taken a huge leap forward. In fact, I don't know any other company out there that has anything like this now. You know, some of you may remember, like I do, I've been a Shopsmith owner a long time. When I first got my what's now an old Mark V, I was just so proud of it. I just couldn't wait to show it off to everybody, and every person that I showed it to, I think, had Shopsmith envy. Well, over the years, you know, things have changed a little bit, and new things have come out, and maybe some better things, and the Shopsmith was sort of lagging behind maybe a little bit. But with this new Power Pro headstock, I have to tell you, I've been just telling everybody that'll listen to me, whether or not they're woodworkers, that this is such an amazing piece of equipment, and it just does everything better. So now, instead of being at the back of the pack, I feel like I'm leading the pack again with my tools. So I'm delighted that they've come out with this. I really like it a lot. I hope you do too. And if you think you'd like to own one of these, you've got my information. Give me an email or give me a call, and I'll be more than happy to help you with that. This is Doug Reid. Thanks for watching.